Today, let's focus on building momentum and being present as we explore day 6 of our 30-day yoga challenge. In this session, we will move through movements from tabletop position, including Shashankasana, to stretch the torso and hamstrings while shifting our body weight. We'll also practice full plank, Bhujangasana, and Ashwasanchalanasana for the lower back. Let's dive in. So you're going to get started by being right in the center of the mat with your hips aligned towards the border of the mat at the back, equal space on both the sides. From there, you're going to spread your fingers open and wide, like stretch them like you've never stretched them before. So feel the tension coming along the palms, and then wrap your hands around the knees, fingers pointing under the knees and back towards the body. This is when you gain the entire length of the spine and gain the entire length of the arms. Think of the whole body making the shape that looks like a triangle, an equilateral triangle. Once you are there, you want to power up the muscles that are there in your lower back and convert this pose almost into a backward bending pose. So you just have to pull the chest up. Notice all the muscles surrounding the spine that are cementing and keeping the spine in place, pushing your belly forward, pulling the chest up. So this is done to create a lot more space inside your chest and your rib cage. Now all you have to do is to breathe in deep. So take a long, deep inhalation. Lift your head up, point your chin away from the navel. Breathe in. Now slowly breathe out and sink down with your spine. Now this is a counter pose, and it stretches those muscles, the muscles that were providing you all the strength and the length of the spine. So just imagine and visualize how the structure of the muscles in your back feels like right now, how all the muscles are getting stretched in horizontal as well as vertical direction. The best way to visualize would be to visualize a web of muscles that is being stretched, web of muscles as well as the fascia. So once you have done this movement, you would notice that how it helps you to get the maximum volume of your lungs, but at the same time it moves the spine and it kind of circulates the blood in your upper body to get you started with the poses to come up ahead. From here, now you're going to get yourself into the tabletop position. So once you're into the tabletop position, you want to align your hands right under the shoulders with your knees going right under the hips, and you imagine there's a cube that you're kind of making with your body. Now from there, start shifting your body weight back and forth. Go back towards the heels. Keep your toes pointed in towards the body. This helps you to feel that stretch. Now maintain that rounding of the spine and keep your chin close to the chest while you look towards your toes and you move forward. And then you go with your body weight a little bit beyond your hands. And then slowly when you breathe out, you want to come back again. Now look towards your hands from here while you settle yourself almost into the Shashankasana. From here, stretch your hands a little bit further forward. And then the similar movement which we did, you'll lower the chin down to the chest. You're imagining that wave is passing through your spine and you're going to pull the chest up. Now that's when you point your toes out and you let yourself sink down. Now here, you let the weight of the torso let the body arch. So get the neck out of the shoulders here. You continue to breathe in and out. Keep your knees down onto the floor and keep the top of the feet touching the floor. Start shifting your body weight from one side to the other, from left hand to the right hand. Also begin to turn your torso sideways. And now lift your nose up and chin up. Fill the body with a long, deep inhalation, and when you do that, you're likely to feel a beautiful stretch coming in front of the torso. Then when you breathe out, you want to settle, put your toes together, keep your hands exactly where they are on the mat, grab the edges of the mat rather, and then stretch the mat away like you want to slide the mat away from the body. This gives you the entire length of the spine and the arms. Then slowly when you breathe in, you're going to look forward towards your hands again. Get yourself into the tabletop position. Bring your knees in slightly closer. Now come with your left foot forward and then sink down with your hips towards the heel in front. Now the common mistake here is to bring the foot somewhere here, and that would give the knee the pressure that we can totally avoid by placing the foot in the correct order and also placing it in a little bit ahead of the hands. So when you breathe out, you may even want to grab the ankle. If the foot is getting stuck today, it's perfectly fine. Just grab it and drag it forward. Put your hands here. Now you will notice that your toes are going beyond where my fingers are placed. Now it doesn't end here. You want to sink down with your hips. You want to sink down with your hips towards the heel in front. And don't just keep your palms pressing down onto the floor. Come up on your fingertips. Press against the floor with your help of the hands. And press your hips towards the heel in front while you're lifting your nose up and you're lifting your chin up. There goes a long inhalation in the pose. And from there, keep your hands exactly where they are. Now from there, you're going to slowly bring your left leg totally straight. Now, if this is too much of stretch, you want to go kinder and gentle on yourself by sliding your hands a little bit further back. If you're fine, your hands being there, you can continue to keep your hands where they were, right in the first place. Now, lift the toes up off the floor. Let the body weight be on the heel. Now from here, push your hips to the right a little bit. And as you do, the stretch is going to be resonating somewhere here on the outer side of the hamstring. So this is one skill we want to learn here, that how by shifting your body weight in a yoga pose, you can totally change the entire way the muscles are connected to each other and how the stretch travels from one side to the other, just by shifting the body weight. Now from here, if you notice my hips are pushed far to the right, stretch is resonating almost here on the outer edge of the left leg. But if I do the opposite by pushing your hips to the left, the stretch comes on the inner line of the hamstring. So continue to breathe in and out. That's why we need to spend enough time in a pose so that we can understand it, so we can observe it and see the parts and the intensity it works on. Then when you breathe out, you sink down, and from here you're going to pull the chest up higher, interlace your fingers here on top of the knee, and you're going to pull yourself up and back. Then when you breathe out, you're going to put your hands down onto the floor back again, and from here, step with your right leg back. So this brings your body into the plank. You continue to breathe in and out. Let's say, for an instance, if the plank is not a comfortable pose for you to hold today, it's perfectly fine. You can totally lower the knees down onto the floor. Now, if you're okay with plank, continue holding the plank. So from there, the next pose will be to go down like this, into the lower plank. But go down with complete control. And similarly, if you were not comfortable with the plank, you could put your knees down and then come back into a pose where your knees are helping you to maintain a plank and hover the body just above the mat. Then entirely go down onto the floor, keep your fingers neatly spread open and wide, and you want to pull yourself into the Bhujangasana. So Bhujangasana is Cobra pose, and there are a few details we need to keep in mind. The elbows would remain really close to the rib cage, shoulders would be away from the ears, and there would be a gentle lift in the chin, and your glutes would remain relaxed. And your navel goes off the mat maximum by 5 centimeters. Breathe. So if you hold this pose for the longer duration, the first set of muscles that will feel the burn and the tiring sensation will be your triceps. From there, point your toes back in, sink down into the child's pose. Go forward, align your knees better, come forward with your right foot. Now we'll do this Ashwa Sanchalanasana on the other side. And sink down with your hips towards the heel in front while you stay up on your fingertips. So continue to breathe in and out. And always remember that we never have to rush from one pose to the other. Take your time. If there is one particular pose, one particular part of the pose you are enjoying the most, and you're getting a comfortable stretch, no harm in staying there for a little longer. Now from here, like we did on the left hand side, you're going to get the entire length of the right leg. So this helps you to feel the stretch that's coming along at the back. Now if you're someone new to practicing yoga, you may want to feel how the muscles, they go through what they go through when they are providing strength. So feel free to go grab the back of the thigh, and you might feel that feels like a stone, that feels like a stretched muscle. So you want to knead it a little bit with your fingertips. You want to dig into the muscles and fibers. The hamstring at the back is made out of 3 parts, and if you really pay attention with your fingers, you may even feel the one, you can differentiate one muscle from the other. Then from there, when you breathe out, you want to push your hips to the side, to the right first. See what that does. Push your hips to the left. See what that does. And then floss between this bracket of movement. Breathe out. Bend. Sink down with your hips again towards the heel in front. Get the neck out of the shoulders. It's all about creating space as much as you can create. Breathe in, pull yourself up, interlace the fingers on top of the knee and pull the chest up and back, and use the length of the arms to arch your back. So not only you were stretching this, you're also stretching the top of your left thigh, stretching the quads, and this is where a lot of stiffness is sometimes. Then slowly when you breathe out, you're going to put your hands down and you're going to come back with your right leg and you sit into the Vajrasana. So the whole sequence we did on this day 6 of our 30-day yoga challenge, it teaches you a new area of movement and a little bit newer intensity in terms of how the muscles can feel the stretch. So when you sink down into the Ashwasanchalanasana, there are a lot of areas you're working on. Back of the thigh, you'll be working on the hamstrings, you'll be working on the quads. And if you are someone who has often the back issues, lower back in particular, you will notice when you continue to do these movements, when you stretch the quads, it will relieve your lumbar back muscles. And once that relief comes across, you may even then want to strengthen those muscles so that your spine remains in the exact place where it's supposed to be staying. And this is how, with your gradual practice, you'll be able to free your body of any kind of aches and pains. This is Zubin Atre congratulating you for attending the 6th day of this 30-day yoga challenge. Please continue. Never give up, even if there is something that you feel is hard, is tough today. Take a break, no stress, just simply watch and understand the pose. Maybe in the future, maybe in the coming classes, you'll be able to attempt that pose better. I look forward to seeing you tomorrow. This is Zubin Atre signing out for today.